Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Colonial RV channel. Today I'm very excited to be sharing with you a Class C model comparison of two of my favorite models, the Navion 24T and the EKKO 23B. Now we're going to be talking about what makes each of these units fantastic and which one makes it work better for your camping style. To begin to cover some of the core similarities between the two models, the 23B and the 24T from 2025, the first thing I want to talk about is the Mercedes 3500 XD chassis. We're going to get adaptive cruise control, brake assist. We're going to get so many safety features from the Mercedes end that you're going to see present in both models. Now, both of these models in the Mercedes chassis now have with 2025 the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, despite the weight, we're getting a lot more lower end torque and we're getting mileage and estimated around 16 to 18 miles per gallon, which is fantastic for an RV of this size. It's also worth mentioning that on the Sprinter chassis, we have a 500-pound hitch weight or max vertical load off our rear receiver, as well as a 5,000-pound towing capacity with the Sprinter van. We also have improved rear view camera running with the 2025 models. And I also want to mention, if you look at these models and you see these boxes, and I'll show you on the 23B as well, off the rear of the van here, this is actually the repositioning for the blind spot monitoring system. It's very, very integrated into the mirrors and kind of awareing the driver if there is anything just a bit out of view when you're going down the highway. One of the most fantastic safety features on the market for sure. Another thing that's a great similarity between the two models is the use of the continuous flow on-demand water heater from Truma here, the AquaGo. Now, on the Navion, there's even a small electric element to kind of keep it warm and primed in colder climates, but both models have the same hardware present here. It's one of the most efficient water heaters on the market and arguably one of the best reviewed. So it's great to see it in both our luxury Class C and our off-grid Class C here. Now on both models, we're going to get the absolute latest and greatest from Mercedes-Benz here, like the current MBUX infotainment screen here, as well as the front monitoring camera. And the chairs, the front driver and passenger seat in both models are going to be electronically reclining, as well as fully swivel to face the rear of the coach. It's also worth mentioning, while the EKKO, like we're in right now, is going to be becoming standard in all-wheel drive, the Navion can be optioned in an all-wheel drive rear, but you have to forego the cab over bunk and go with a low profile cap like you see on the EKKO. To begin to get into some of the differences here between the two models, the 2014 Navion is of course a luxury Class C, so we have hydraulic leveling at the press of a button. Now with the 23B, we'd have to bring along blocks and pull up onto them and try to level it ourselves, while this has sensors and we can step away and it'll do its thing and perfectly level it in a spot. The overall length of the Navion here is going to be about 25 feet and 8 inches, and we're going to see high weight tires on those axles to make it kind of more nimble and feel more comfortable on those long highway trips. On the 23B EKKO, the tires are a little more geared towards all-season and off-road use. We're also going to see larger Method OD wheels that just kind of give it a better look with the overall facade of the unit. Outstanding features that the 24T and the 23B are going to share include an entry side awning. We've got an exterior LP hookup on both units, as well as an outdoor shower at our water management station. And in the rear, we've got this 12-volt and 110 powered and heated garage in the rear with 3 different entry points for loading as well as tie downs in all 4 corners. So of course on our Navion here, we're going to get the larger 16-foot awning, electronic leveling underneath, as well as 73 cubic feet of storage and a large slide inside to give us even more floor space. So on the 23B EKKO, instead of a traditional black tank, of course we have the cassette tank, and we have no slide out, and of course we have a smaller main awning, but we have an additional batwing 270-degree awning on the EKKO as an option, and it's at a nice height so it's manageable to put out. And we also have a water management station with our outdoor shower behind an insulated door with both a gravity fill and a pressurized fill for our freshwater tank, and a 50-gallon freshwater tank with our EKKO. In the 23B, we have this nice rear with queen to twin bed configuration that almost works like a lounge. It's still a nice area with floor space to hang out, plenty of storage, hanging closets on the end of the beds here. And it's just nice to have it separate from the space and have a dedicated modular area. So in addition to the sleeping area in the rear, we can always option a pop top on the roof to sleep another 2 adults, But it's worth mentioning that with the 23B floor plan, this front lounge dining area also has the ability to be switched into sleeping for another 2 folks, as well as change the orientation of our seat here. Because now it looks like we can seat potentially 5 up here in the front. And in addition to a Luno bed, we could sleep even more people. Ta-da. And then if I want to have forward-facing seating here with the 3-point belt harness, with a table in front, and I've got seating here. So inside the 24T, our large slide gives us a ton more interior space walking around, but we do have less sleeping space in our larger interior space. We only have the cab over bunk for 1 to 2 people, and our Murphy bed here that's going to deploy over our luxury couch. Now we have a nice tray in the center, as well as tray tables that can be added to either side of our theater seating, and an integrated reclining position here. Now the luxury finishes inside, this is the Hyga house. We also have the modeler interior with some whiter tones. This is more geared for a luxury stay. This looks more like a finer class RV, while the other is more of an adventure ready Class B plus Class C. So in this very luxurious rear bath in the 24T, we actually have a large wardrobe that extends all the way into the corner of the motorhome, as well as drawer storage on this side of our wardrobe here. We actually have even more storage to the left of our vanity and our sink here. Adjustable closets, nice well-built drawers, as well as our cabinetry and hanging on the back of our door here. We also, of course, have pump switches located throughout. That's a hallmark of Winnebago design. We've got a porcelain commode, as well as a large shower with bench seat that I can actually fit into and comfortably lounge in. So in the EKKO 23B, we actually have this mid-coach located wet bath. Now, our wall here is actually going to come to this side and cover our flushable commode. Now, this has a 5.5 gallon cassette tank that we're actually going to remove out the side, and it makes the black tank experience a little more manageable, especially when you're off grid. Now, when you want to use the shower in here, we're just going to move our sink and our wall over. We can actually secure it out of the way, and we even have a shower curtain here for the shower, and our little wooden slats here can be removed, so after you take a shower you can put this back inside, and then anyone who has to utilize the bathroom here doesn't have to get their feet wet. So in addition to off-grid use being a central theme in this EKKO 23B, the other themes are lightweight and efficient. And that's exactly what this 5.3 cubic foot Norcold 12-volt refrigerator is. We've got a nice ice box on the top here, and we even have a nighttime mode that's going to cut the compressor draw in half and make it operate a lot quieter overnight. We also have an induction cook plate inside because we have so much battery power to pull from, as well as a generator underneath, or that can be optioned out into more battery power. So in the kitchen in the 24T, we have a larger 10 cubic foot refrigerator, also from Norcold, with a nighttime function, so it'll be nice and quiet while we're sleeping in here. We have a large basin sink, just like we do on the 23B, extended countertop, but in addition to our cook plate over here, we also have a gas cooktop burner, and then above it, we also have venting from our convection microwave here. So with all the appliances and just where it's laid out, it feels more like a residential kitchen and kind of in a studio space, just making efficient use and still providing you with tons of storage above and below. Now let's talk about 12 volt and solar. Now lithium batteries have been all the rage, and you can get a 320 amp battery with both models. You can option further, you can get a second battery with the EKKO and 2 additional batteries with the Navion 24T. Now in addition to 320 amps of 12 volt lithium batteries from Lithionics, we also have a 2000 watt Xantrex inverter in both models. Now the differences come in the solar on the roof. We have about 240 watts of solar on our Navion 24T and 530 watts on our EKKO 23B. Now that's an impressive amount of solar to run our lights, our fans, our refrigerator, and with our 2000 watt inverter, we could even run our AC. Now to show you the tank difference on the EKKO versus the 24T inside here, this is our 5.5 gallon cassette black tank, and we have a 51 gallon gray tank on board. And I already mentioned we have a 50-gallon fresh tank with the EKKO, and this is all just geared so we can get out and boondock and stay out there even longer than the average Class B plus or Class C on the market. Now on the Navion 24T, we still have large tank sizes, but we have a traditional black tank. We have a 47-gallon black, a 46-gallon gray tank, and then we have a 30-gallon freshwater tank, all of which are actually monitored by our Winnebago Connect screen here. So another important thing to mention here about the Navion line is the 24T actually has a sister model, the 24R here, that has the same queen to twin rear bed setup as the EKKO 23B we've been talking about here today. It splits the bathroom across the aisle here, but the doors open up to still kind of separate the space. But this is how the luxury coach has been lined up. This is how the internal kind of touches would feel, where the EKKO is more geared for that off-grid use, and this would be more at home at a nice RV resort. Now, with the difference of the internal touches in mind, it's also worth mentioning the difference in price. Now, the EKKO outside, before the options like the full body paint or the batwing awning, starts around the $245,000 mark. Now, this Navion 24T here, before options, starts around the $258,000 mark. Now, that's a huge investment, but we're trying to invest in the best off-grid motorhomes here, and that's why we want you to start with the Navion 24T and the EKKO 23B. So thank you so much for joining us today and allowing us to compare two of the top Class Cs on the market today. Please give us a like, subscribe, share the video if you feel like it, and please let us know in the comments which models you would like to see compared next. I'm Joe Welches, and enjoy your RV.